literally transform before your eyes. Today we're going to explore how shifting perceptions can dramatically alter your life's trajectory and open up doors to new possibilities. I want to share a story with you of how my 2-year-old daughter taught me the greatest lesson about perceptions. And that lesson is going to really hammer home the point of what we're talking about today. Let's set the frame of what perceptions are. Perceptions are literally our interpretation of an experience that we're having. But the tricky part is that our perception in that moment is based not completely on the experience that we're having. It's based on past experiences. It's based on our values. It's based on our emotions. All of those come together to give us the perception of what's happening in the moment. Molly was 2 years old at the time, and she taught me an extremely powerful lesson. I grew up in an old school family. That old school family was you're seen and not heard. When the parents tell you to do something, you do it. That's it. The rules were the family kind of revolved around the parents, not the children. The children didn't have much of a say. There was no conversation. There was no explanation. You just did what you were told, and that made you a good kid. That's how I grew up. So I said, all right, well, it worked for me. I'm a successful individual. I'm going to raise my kids the way that I was raised, right? We tend to go back to our past experiences. And remember that part of perceptions is past experiences. So when Molly was 2 years old, I would expect her to pick up her toys, and she would have a meltdown. I would be having, dinner was going to be macaroni and cheese, and she would have a meltdown if dinner turned out to be chicken nuggets. If we were going to grandma's house and that trip got canceled, then Molly would have a meltdown because we weren't going to grandma's. Molly once had a meltdown because she wasn't allowed to go to school. We kept her home from school to take her to the city to see a play that involved Big Bird. Like, she met Big Bird. What little kid doesn't want to meet Big Bird? And she had a meltdown over this. And what happened was, my wife eventually said to me, let's go have Molly tested because something doesn't seem right here. And when we had Molly tested, we found out that Molly has Asperger's. That Molly literally has a challenge making transitions. So Molly wasn't being disrespectful. Molly actually had a challenge in that. And I was standing toe-to-toe with her. Fast forward now a couple of days later, we're sitting around the campfire, my wife and I, and we're talking about the family and how I can be more compassionate with Molly and where we want the family to go. And she hit me square between the eyes with a sledgehammer in only a way that a sweet, loving mother could, right? She said to me, let me ask you a question about Molly. If she had a broken leg, and there was a cast on her leg, would you be upset with her because she couldn't walk up the stairs as fast as you were expecting her to walk up the stairs, or couldn't get out to the car, or couldn't get into the store? No, of course not. What do you think I am, some kind of monster? I would love and cherish her. I would pick her up and carry her. I would part the seas. I would have anybody that was getting frustrated with her because she couldn't move so fast. And then she leaned into me, and this is where she hit me. She simply leaned in and said, exactly. And the life just drained out of me. Because in that moment, I truly realized that I was perceiving Molly's temper tantrums, I was perceiving Molly's meltdowns as being disrespectful. When in actuality, Molly was screaming out for help in the only way she knew how at the moment. Molly was saying, Daddy, I need you. Daddy, please love me. Daddy, help me. And I was standing toe-to-toe with her, yelling and screaming. Perceptions are extremely, extremely powerful. And today I hope that through my shared experiences with you, examples that I use in presentations that I do, I can change how you look at some of your experiences. I want you to take a look at this. This picture right here is one of the pictures I use in my presentations. And I want you to tell me what you see there. Do you see an old lady with her chin down here? The old lady, right? This is her chin and her hair. Or do you see a young lady from like the roaring 20s, right? That would be the young lady's chin and the young lady's nose. Where this is the nose of the older lady, and this is the nose of the younger lady. What do you see, younger or older? It's funny because when I prime people, sometimes I'll go into the audience and speak with the attendees, and I'll start talking to them about their grandmother and about my grandmother and conjuring up all of those emotions and having them remember past experiences about their grandmother. And predominantly with the people that I have those conversations with, they see an old lady here because I primed their mind. That's something that we're going to talk about in future episodes, the RAS. So here's another one. This is another very interesting image. What do you see there in that image? Do you see two faces? Or do you see a chalice? So when I do this presentation, and I showed this presentation to high school students in public school predominantly see two faces, where high school students in Catholic schools predominantly see a chalice. Again, past experiences. Another one. This is awesome. This is a great one. Is this the number 6 or the number 9? It all depends on how you're looking at it. I love using this and throwing in Ed Milet, what I call Ed Milet's camera. Ed Milet talks about and teaches how you have a camera, and that camera, if you can use that camera to look at yourself from 30,000 feet, then you'll see something different. All right, so imagine the camera's up here. We're going to call it EM for Ed Milet camera, EMC. Imagine if we were looking at this conversation from the top down. We would know that it could be either, that they're both right. But this guy's only seeing the number 9, this guy's only seeing the number 6. So when in your life, where in your experiences are you doing this? You're so close, so in the weeds, that you can't take that 30,000 foot view. You got to zoom out to kind of get that new perspective, right? One last quick story I'm going to share with you. The story of Santa glasses. So when I was a kid, my mother would tell me, oh, Santa's always watching, right? And she would tell me that the Christmas lights on the tree were little cameras that Santa was using to watch me. And one day I challenged her on this. I'm like, I don't believe you. I walked over to the lights, like I'm looking at them, I'm touching them, I'm playing with them. I'm like, there's no camera here. You're out of your mind. And she said to me, she said, you don't believe me? Okay. And she motioned to me to take a look at to put these special glasses on. They were special cardboard glasses. And she said, here, go put these glasses on and take a look at the tree. And when I put those glasses on, and I took a look at the tree, I immediately jumped back. I was like, whoa! Whoa, what was that? Hold on. No way! And every time I put those glasses on and I looked at the lights, Santa would appear. Every time I took them off, Santa would disappear. Santa would appear, Santa would disappear. The glasses were changing my perception. Now listen, we all know that the glasses is what was doing it. But where in your life do you need to look through a different lens to see things slightly different, to bring things in to perspective? Right? I'm going to leave you with three quick questions to tie this all up, to see how we're looking at things differently, right? The first question is there an action I can take right now to elevate my perception? Like, where am I on my perception scale, right? Go back and listen to the presentation I did on 7 levels of perception. What level am I at right now on those 7 levels? And then what action can I take right now to elevate my level? What action can I take right now to see this from Ed Milet's camera, from a different angle? And finally, it's a little fun activity. I always giggle when I think about it. When I'm having those perception challenges, I always think about this. I think about putting my Santa glasses on. So where do you need to put your Santa glasses on? And when I think about that, it's silly, right? And I kind of smile. But in that thought of putting my Santa glasses on, it does 2 things for me personally. It makes me smile a little bit because it's so ridiculous. But it also slows me down, and I start thinking about the experience or the situation differently. I start zooming out. That Santa glasses leads me to Ed Milet's camera. So where are you going to put your Santa glasses on so that you can start looking at things slightly differently so that you can start transforming your life? Guys, you know we live up here in the numerator, in the results over excuses. Go out there today. Be unstoppable. Crush the day, guys. Love you. See you later.